By the way, Ethereum up $15 since we started this live cast.
Good luck, John. All right, so if you have any questions, go to menti.com, menti.com. Use the code 772522, 772522. Question is, can you guys do a review or share your thoughts on Bidao, BID, fundamentals and TA? Thanks. So this project has been pretty popular for the last few months. We've covered this before. Not too bullish on their fundamentals, but fundamentals right now don't really matter in crypto. Things have just been pumping based purely on FOMO. Right. So if you're trading it, I would just defer to Maddie and Bill and just kind of go through that based on TA. But I don't really see why the fundamentals are strong as to why, because I think people just liked it because they were building on Binance. But other than that, I don't see how they're fundamentally better than anything that's currently out there. If anything, when we looked at their GitHub, it was pretty bare bones, pretty inactive, and I think it was just hype. Bill, your take? Okay, I think you're on mute, Bill.
Okay, so if I've got it versus wrapped ETH here, okay, on Uniswap. Okay, this looks like something that you could have a possible give up trade in, where people just sort of throw in the towel. That might have happened here. And this could be the base. So it's kind of a mixed picture, right? This has been how cryptocurrencies have bottomed this year with these downward sloping formations. Okay. So when they break out of the top, it's like a Kusama and it goes, or when it breaks out of the bottom, it goes like a Uniswap and you wind up losing, half your money. I think there's better plays out there.
I call those 50 balls. You're either going to lose 50% or it's going to go like 4 to 5x plus.
All right. Anything else on your end, Maddie? Good.
Yeah, I mean, people are trying to recreate the wheel on the DAO structures. You had a big DAO movement in the pooling game. I think that if high risk assets come back and you start seeing big investments and they start flooding the pools again, DAOs will have a big move. That'll probably bleed into DAOFi. I was an investor in DAOFi. Unfortunately, they started off to a poor launch. Andrew Lee's project, good friends with Andrew. But I still see some relevance there. They're building something real.
So I haven't followed the project, but I think Diego was an investor in it. He told me that there was, I guess, it basically crashed. Was that just kind of based on the market crash, or was there some kind of event? Or
there was a catalyst for that. So the way the token metrics were structured, subtle plug there. The way the token metrics were structured was that round two, there was the unlocked round, which I had the privilege of getting into, and then there was 2 rounds that were locked, and they were supposed to get 20% tokens up front. But for some reason, the smart contract wasn't designed to mint on the initial emissions mint function to give that 20%. So the 2 other rounds, which had lower prices, they didn't distribute those tokens to those holders. So then they kind of put out this statement that said that they were going to dilute, which means that they were going to airdrop across the board so that everyone's exposure was the same percentage, but you would get 20% for the people who were unlocked. The people who were in the private investors chat, these are like the core investors that I was in, they were kind of pushing to say, well, the unlocked round should have been that 20% that would be given to them should be locked. And they were saying that because a lot of people had already sold. Now, I didn't sell. I actually bought the project because it's a friend's project, wanted to support it. I actually bought more at like 25 cents or whatever. The problem is there in that scenario is that, we paid a premium to be unlocked. So you can do whatever you want with your tokens. If you're diluting across the board, it doesn't really make sense. So at the end of the day, and this was against my better judgment at the time because I didn't really think about it, but at the end of the day, the best scenario was to take down the contract and then launch a new one that had the distribution into it. So the team came to the right decision. And what I essentially told them was, hey, take some time and go think about this and then come back. Now they've now terminated the people who were associated with that blunder. There was another blunder as well while this was all going on, was that instead of putting their liquidity on Uniswap and letting people trade it, they put a majority of liquidity on Balancer, which if you've ever used Balancer, their UI is awful. And only a few people were able to get in there. So I bought on Balancer and then I got double wrecked. I got wrecked with my investment at 20 cents, which fell to 14 cents. And I got wrecked on Balancer as well. That being said, Andrew and his team are building, and they're building something that I think is niche, but could become more relevant in the future. People are really interested in DAOs, to the concept of what we're talking about with DAOFi, with Bidao. And, what DAOFi does is essentially creates a marketplace for DAO focused projects, and it has community integration that's built in with that. So if people find more value in certain DAOs or whatever, which we're seeing a lot more of nowadays, then DAOFi can position itself to have some sort of presence. How big that presence becomes, who knows? I still think that it's really, really niche. But I do have faith in Andrew's team to be able to develop and produce, because they're the kind of like Andrew values his reputation to a degree. That from just knowing him over the years. So it's not like he's just going to up and run and take off. So I think that he's going to continue to build his project, and I think when the market turns around, I'm gonna come back in and buy some more.
Yeah.
Not financial advice.
Bill, could you maybe pull this up as well on your end?
Okay.
Yes.